Dear ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today that might just wake up the royalty inside of you. It's time to rise like a queen. I'm not talking about a title. I'm not talking about a crown you wear on your head. I'm talking about the crown that's already been planted in your soul, the one life tried to knock off when it threw heartbreak, rejection, betrayal, and failure your way. You may not have grown up in a palace, but you were still born with purpose. You may have been surrounded by pain, but you were still destined for power. And I don't care what they labeled you too broken, too much, too emotional, too loud, because you were never meant to fit into the world's version of a woman. You were meant to rule in the way only grace can. That means ruling over fear, ruling over doubt, ruling over the lies the enemy keeps whispering to you in the night. Queens don't need validation to walk into the room. They carry their authority from within. Queens don't compare themselves with the other women in the court. They know who they are and whose they are. They don't bow to pressure, they rise through it. They don't break when the storm hits, they become the storm. You don't become a queen the day you're crowned. You become a queen every day you refuse to quit. So maybe life has pushed you down. Maybe your past feels too messy. But hear me, you are not defined by where you've been. You're defined by what you're made of. And you, my sister, are made of fire, faith, and fierce love. You were created to carry burdens and birth breakthroughs, to cry and still conquer, to be misunderstood and still move mountains. Today is not the day to shrink. Today is not the day to settle. Today is the day you stand in the ashes of what tried to destroy you and rise like the queen you've always been. You've got royalty in your veins and a calling on your life. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and rise not in fear, but in faith, not in silence, but in strength, not for applause, but for purpose, because queens don't chase, they command. Queens don't settle, they build. Queens don't break, they rise. 10 key points of the speech: rise like a queen. Your identity is not determined by your past, but by the purpose planted inside you. Queens carry authority from within and don't need validation from others. Pain and trials refine you, they don't define you. Rising doesn't mean perfection, it means persistence. You don't become a queen overnight, you become one every time you don't quit. A queen doesn't compete, she completes her assignment. There's royalty inside every woman, even if the world tries to bury it. Real strength is birthed in silent seasons where no one claps for you. Queens rule with grace, purpose, and unshakable faith. You rise not for applause, but to fulfill divine purpose. You are not the product of your past, you are the carrier of purpose. Too many people let their history become their identity. They walk around with the weight of old labels, past traumas, broken relationships, and silent shame, thinking that what happened to them is all they'll ever be. But let me tell you something bold today. Asterisk, asterisk, you are not what happened to you, you are who God called you to be. Asterisk, asterisk, your pain may have shaped you, but it didn't define you. Your scars may have taught you, but they didn't cancel your calling. The queen inside you isn't buried beneath your failures, she's rising through them. Every time life knocked you down and you got back up, that was purpose pushing you. Every moment you felt invisible but kept serving with grace, that was the crown forming on your spirit. Every betrayal, every abandonment, every time someone overlooked you or underestimated you, all of it was molding you, not breaking you. There is royalty in you, even if your past tried to make you forget it. When you realize your identity is not anchored in where you've been, but in where you're called to go, you stop living on defense. You start walking in boldness. You stop asking for permission to be great and start asterisk, asterisk, claiming your territory asterisk, asterisk, like the queen you are. Your background may not be royal, but your asterisk, asterisk spirit is regal asterisk, asterisk. Your childhood may have been chaotic, but your asterisk, asterisk destiny is ordered asterisk, asterisk. Your journey may have been messy, but your asterisk, asterisk calling is holy asterisk, asterisk. You don't have to earn your worth, it was written into your DNA by the Creator himself. Queens don't rise because they have the perfect resume. They rise because they finally believe what's been true about them all along. They were born with power, crowned with favor, and assigned to shift atmospheres. You are not here by accident. You are a divine appointment wrapped in a human body. You are a living testimony that pain doesn't get the last word, purpose does. So stop playing small, stop apologizing for existing. Stop shrinking into spaces you are called to rule. You don't have to change your story to rise, you just have to own it The queen in you doesn't deny the past, she uses it as fuel. And when you walk with that mindset, your history becomes the stage for your royalty to be revealed. Absolutely. Here's a large length expansion of key point 2 from the speech rise like a queen There will be moments in your life when silence is your greatest weapon. Not because you have nothing to say, but because what you're carrying is too powerful to be explained, too sacred to be debated, and too divine to be reduced to someone else's limited perspective. Queens don't always roar sometimes, they reign in silence. And that silence is not weakness. It's wisdom It's strategic, it's spiritual, because not every battle requires your voice. Some victories are won in your stillness. Sometimes people won't understand the decisions you're making. They'll question your peace, they'll misunderstand your boundaries, they'll misinterpret your growth. But what they don't see is the inner work God is doing in you. They don't see the private prayers, the late night tears, the constant wrestling between who you were and who you're becoming. So rather than explain yourself to people who aren't even qualified to hear the next chapter of your story, you rise in quiet confidence. You stay focused. You stay obedient. You stay aligned. There's a sacred power that comes when you stop proving and start producing. When you stop trying to convince others of your worth and instead start cultivating your gift in private. Royalty doesn't beg for recognition. It doesn't perform for validation. A queen understands that her strength isn't in being seen, it's in being secure She knows that silence is not the absence of voice, it's the presence of maturity She doesn't retaliate with drama, she responds with discipline. Let them wonder what you're doing. Let them whisper. Let them think you're done, forgotten, overlooked. Because while they're talking, you're building. While they're guessing, you're growing. While they're doubting, you're developing. You don't need their approval to be powerful. You don't need applause to be anointed. Some of the greatest elevation happens in hidden seasons when no one's watching, but heaven is working. So when you're tempted to defend yourself, to explain every decision, to prove you're not who you used to be, pause. Breathe, remember who you are. You're not here to impress them. You're here to fulfill destiny. You don't have time to fight petty battles when you've been called to rule kingdoms. And sometimes the greatest declaration you'll ever make is simply showing up, standing tall, smiling with quiet fire in your eyes, because that's what rising queens do. They speak louder with their progress than they ever could with their words . Of course, here's a long form expansion of key point 3 from the speech rise like a queen in the style you're following. There will come a point in your life where you realize that your past does not define your crown it refines it. Queens are not born out of ease. They are shaped in the fires of adversity, betrayal, heartbreak, and rejection. But what makes a queen rise isn't that she avoided pain, it's that she survived it She stood up again And every time she was knocked down, she didn't just get up, she got up with more wisdom, more grace, more purpose. You see, some of us were raised in atmospheres that didn't nurture royalty. We were taught to settle, to shrink, to doubt our dreams. Some of us were conditioned to believe that the pain we experienced disqualified us from greatness. But that's a lie. The crown is not given to the perfect, it's entrusted to the resilient. You didn't go through all that for nothing. Every scar is a story, every tear was a seed, every dark season was a silent training ground preparing you to carry authority with humility. And here's the truth every queen has a past She may walk with elegance now, but she had to limp through some seasons you know nothing about. Don't let the crown fool you, it wasn't always gold and glory. There were moments of deep insecurity, seasons of isolation, times she wanted to quit, days when she questioned her worth. But she learned to dig deep. She learned that brokenness doesn't cancel her calling. She learned that being misunderstood doesn't change her identity. So instead of being ashamed of your story, start owning it, not with arrogance, with assurance. What you went through didn't break you, it built you. The queen you are becoming today is because of the pain you didn't allow to define you yesterday. Some of the most powerful crowns are forged in the dark, in the nights when nobody saw your fight. In the mornings you rose with a smile while bleeding inside, in the prayers you whispered when no one heard but God. Your past isn't your prison, it's your platform. What you survived is now the stage for what you're called to speak into others. Your story is not over. It's only getting started. And every time the enemy thought he silenced you, you turned that silence into strength. That's what queens do. They take the ashes and rise with purpose. They walk through fire and come out refined, not ruined. So the next time you feel haunted by where you came from, look in the mirror and remind yourself, my past may be part of my process, but it is not the definition of my promise. You are not who you were. You are who you are becoming. And she, the woman rising right now, is nothing short of royalty.